Yes. Hello. Welcome to episode number 41. Arc Furnace Fun. We had a good stream the other day where we put this thing to use finally, and look, I have a stack and a half of black steel there. Decent. Very decent. This thing kicks out some awesome recipes, which we'll get to in a minute. But first, how did we power it? Let me just update anyone who missed the stream. We have a connector on the back there. We have some high voltage cables here running up to a relay there. Another relay up there. It took some time for us to work out exactly how we wanted to pass these cables along, but I think that looks nice. And then across to here and down into a second basic capacitor bank. So this one remains untouched. The first two sets of water wheels still go into here, and they power all our other machines through low voltage cabling. But look down there, there are now two more. So we've doubled up again, and the bottom two have low voltage cabling coming into this completely separate. There we go. If I get down here, you can have a look into this completely separate capacitor bank. I did this mostly just so I could analyze the arc furnace's power consumption isolated from everything else, and also I think on occasions when we're using everything, we don't want the arc furnace to hog the power to the point that everything else shuts off. So if the arc furnace is running but slowly and everything else is still at normal speed, that's preferable to the arc furnace like hogging the show. So this is our arc furnace bank here, and I guess as we go deeper and deeper, we may add more in parallel to this. We may expand this bank, expand that bank, who knows. But for now, the two wheels here give us enough power to run the arc furnace and get something out of it. And the way it works is it has these 12 input slots, and each of them has a progress bar next to it, you'll see. So much like the Tinker's smeltery, you know, you can do one piece at a time, or you can do like several pieces at a time. So at the moment we've got enough power that we can run one of these squares. So we could upgrade we could basically, and that's two water wheels, the bottom two water wheels there. And remember, each is 3, so it's 6 water wheels produces enough power to run one square of the arc furnace. Now, if we were to want to run all 12, we would need to produce 11 more pairs of these. 66 water wheels in total we need to add. But for now, even it runs slowly, that's fine, to be honest. It's still fast enough. It's not like abysmally slow. We were able to, at the end of the stream, produce all of this black steel while the stream was going. And if you want a bit more speed, you can just rinse into the million in the bank, but that runs out very, very quickly. So even just running 2 of these squares is almost immediately unsustainable with the power generation we have. You'll also have noticed from the start of the episode, we were back over at the mob farm trying to get our hands on some more pig iron and get our resources back up. We did a tiny amount of iron mining as well when we were on the stream the other day, and we found a new rich source of limonite on the stream, and there's a load of coal in the same area, so it's a good potential location for a gunpowder barrel, maybe later this episode or next episode. But here's all the pig iron we got, and we've got 30 ingots of steel. So this is what I wanted to do down here now, is do a bit of maths. This is all the weak steel we made previously that we still need to convert up, so 42 ingots. And here's the recipe. Where's black steel ingot? So the arc furnace black steel recipe is this one that we want to use right here. Weak steel, pig iron, and steel with flux. And as I've said before, I'll just hammer this point home. You get 1 ingot of black steel per ingot you put in with this recipe, rather than it being this 2-for-1 system where you weld the pig iron to the weak steel and you end up with 1 ingot out of using 2. Instead of getting 2-to-1, we're getting 3-to-3 or 1-to-1. So it's a very nice recipe. But what it means is, if we've got 42 of this weak steel, we need 42 pig iron and we need 42 steel. We currently only have 30 steel. So it strikes me that we want to probably convert at least 64 of this pig iron. Let's do that. Let's grab all of this immediately. And let's take a cheeky 64 pig iron upstairs to push forward into steel. I've also been using this bad boy to produce paper. It needs emptying every 64, so this thing is maybe crying out for a hopper underneath it there. Probably underneath, we'd move that block. We might do that this episode. It's very slow producing the paper, but it's not producing this liquid too quickly, and we could make another void pipe for this guy. So we might upgrade this later on in the episode. Anyway, pig iron to steel is the red hammer. Whip that out, chuck it on, and chuck these 2 stacks in. Just get those going. Okay, so while those are going, just thought I'd come and check on our flux situation, and like, well, we're fine. We've got the 42 pieces we need for now. We'll have to make some more when we come to welding, and that brings us on to what I want to do with all of this red and blue steel that we are going to end up making from all of this black steel. We are, as was suggested on the live stream in the chat, we're going to be looking at some proper armor. Alright, boom, 2 stacks of high carbon. Go straight back in, and that will turn it into legit steel. Now, we are going to need 42 ingots of pig iron too. So we come down here and let's grab that now as well. And then I think we're kind of there. There's an awesome comment the other day saying that we could install pistons under the floor here, which would then allow us to raise the floor up a level to be able to reach the ingots at the top without them flying through the ceiling. We'd have to get rid of all these signs here, but that would be a legit hilarious solution to the problem. If we had little like levers on these bits here that you could just like, or press a button, it just goes doosh and shoots you up a block. That would be pretty cool. Anyway, now one other thing, just before we get onto the arc furnace, one other thing is between episodes, I have been preparing for another dust sifting madness here. We've got 4 stacks of sand there that I'm just leaving for turning back into sandstone to do another batch, but look how much sand we've got prepped over here. All 9 of those, 5 slots there, and then almost a whole full double chest. I'm pretty sure that an Unbreaking 3 diamond hammer doesn't the hammer will break before we do all of that. So that's cool. I had been between episodes trying to get, I think it's in my backpack, I'd been trying to get, yeah, here it is, a diamond hammer ready again, but the level 30 enchant I put on it wasn't Unbreaking 3, and then I did all the books I could with the XP that I had, and we didn't get Unbreaking 3 out of that either. Hence why I'm making paper to make more books. So, how does this thing work? Well, we put the supporting ingredients, which I believe is the steel and the pig iron and the flux. So we'll just start with 32 because there literally isn't room to put more than that in. Because we need all 3 of the supporting ingredients in there, and then we chuck the weak steel in here. And then you can see that bar is going now. And if we come over to our power supply there, okay, so you can see it's filling up as fast as it's using it. We're still at 0 RF per tick, but it has come down from 1 million, which is, I guess, just showing that the power is flowing through. Now, in support of what I was talking about earlier, if we were to say, wait for that to finish, if we were to say do that and split them into 2, well, it's going to work twice as fast. And look at that. We are now eating into our reserves quite quickly. So why don't we do, as a test, let's just see how much we eat into our reserves just by doing one whole batch, if you like. So we'll wait for that. We'll go, okay, fine. That guy's finished. Bring him back into one pile. And then let's see where we're at here. Right, so it used like 100,000. It used like 1/10 of our total power, doubling it up. And now that we are only using 1 again, you can see that what we have to spare is just 21 RF per tick. And the 2 of these, just as these 2 do, produce about 220 RF per tick. So I deduce basically that each of these slots in the arc furnace demands 200 RF per tick. Which is fine, there's 12 slots, that's 2,400, and the high voltage cables and wires and connectors have a max of 4,000 RF, 4,096. So this one cable can handle all of the RF that this guy needs, and you can see with each batch it does, it's kicking out 3 black steel. We just need to keep coming and emptying the slag. So this chest here has now become our slag chest. And I think we can make concrete out of this slag. I think that's the only use for it, is we can make building blocks out of it. So we'll probably end up doing a massive batch of it once we have like a full chest here. this is what we'll be doing next then, is we'll be doing batches like this in the arc furnace. And so, of course, it isn't ideal. This thing is quite slow. Oops, we don't want those in there. We want them to go in there, and we want this one in there. There we go, sorted. Yeah, and so the thing that is crazy, that I keep forgetting, but it is such a big deal, is that it's 1 ingot for 1. So when we're doing these batches here of 32, 32, and 32, we're getting 3 out each time. So this 42, this batch of 42 we're doing here is going to give us 126 ingots of black steel to add to the whatever that is that we've got there already. We're going to have hundreds and hundreds of ingots of black steel, which is good because, as we have just established, like, we need 2 ingots of black steel for those, and then I think it needs to go through again, doesn't it, with even more black steel. So we are going to need a lot of it. It's cool though, because literally for every single ingot of black steel you see here, we're going to have an ingot of red or blue. I mean, we are going to have piles of red and blue steel bigger than any of the rest of these by the time we're finished, I imagine. Possibly not the aluminium, but like, yeah, they're going to be piled high. All three, like everything here is going to be piled high. We may even actually just simply need to go out and get more pig iron and steel to manage this. Alright, and it's done. And look at how, I mean, this is like in a matter of minutes, really. Like, I would say I've been sat here for 10, maybe 15 minutes. So good. Let's make some red and blue steel with this thing. This is very exciting. This is going to be so jokes. Alright, safe. So I'm just like gathering up everything that we're going to need for our red and blue steel production here. I mean, we could pile up a load of this black steel here because we're not going to need to make any more black steel for such a long time. So I've just been it's been dawning on me just how good value these recipes are. So like, if we look here, for every ingot of rose gold I take upstairs now, we will get 5 weak red. So it's like 1 of each of these, it translates to 5, yeah? So then this weak red steel, when we process, so we could process that in the alloy smelter, but why would we? That's a 2 to 1. Over here, we just introduce a steel ingot, we get 3 for 3 again. Similar situation, but that means that weak red, for each one of those, we'll get 3 times. So for every ingot of rose gold, etc., that I take up for our sets now, each one of these is going to equate to 15 ingots of red steel at the end. Obviously, because we're putting in all the other ingots to make it up to 15, mostly will be black steel and some steel, building that all up. But like, yeah, so I'm just going to go with like 8, and I think that's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of everything. So we need 8 sterling silver. We'll need 8 bismuth, bronze. We'll need 8 brass. And then just for these initial stages then, we're going to need, we've got all the black steel, we're going to need 8 ingots of steel for each one as well. So we're looking at 16 steel here. So you can see, actually, we're probably going to need to go and get more pig iron to make more steel. It's probably going to be the first thing we need to actually do. Alright, so it goes like this. We need 16 in there, like that. We need the brass and the rose gold, so this will be a batch of red steel, and then we'd put the 8 in there, and it's a going. Should give us what we want. So you can see, even at its slowest setting, even with the amount of power we're producing passively now, like, there's no problems here with the speed this thing's going at, and it can go 12 times faster. I mean, once we get all those water wheels down, this thing's going to be insanely powerful. Wow. So for each one of these, we're going to need another ingot of black steel. We're going to need a load of flux. Okay, so we need to make flux, and then we're going to need an ingot of steel for each ingot we're making here, which is 5 times 8, which is 40. So we're going to need 80 ingots of steel and 80 ingots of black steel to push forwards into these, I think. I think it is, and I think that means that we then end up with 120 ingots of red and 120 ingots of blue out of this. Okay, sweet. So there's our 40 week red. That like took no time at all, really. So then presume we can just have them in one slot there. We don't actually need to separate them out, I would expect. And then that goes in there. Yeah, and it's starting to process. So that'll get our 40 ingots of blue coming out. Alright, yeah, so we're going to be 7 ingots short on steel to make these 2 batches of I say 40, 2 batches of 120. Oh man, this is insane. But we will have more than enough in the black steel. We still got this stack of black steel here as well. So arguably we pushed far too much of our steel forwards into black steel. But that's cool, because we'll just have loads of black steel. We just go out and get more pig iron. So I might actually do that now very quickly. I think makes sense. How's this coming along? Oh baby, it's happening. It's so fast doing them 5 at a time on its slowest speed. Alright, yeah, let's go to the mob farm. Alright, big in the game. So we've got 15 pig iron. I spent literally like 10 minutes at the mob farm, maybe less. And I think all of this is, oh, that's a finished run. So we'll just chuck 10 in here, and we'll keep 5 pig iron just so we can stack something downstairs, because I like there to be something in every slot, you know. Anyway, let's put our 5 down here, and we'll be left with like maybe 3 spare steel ingots, I think, if my maths is correct, and we can chuck those there. And that's probably these done. There we go, that's the last one. Alright, so we're ready now to start looking at the next stage in this recipe, I think. So we should have our 40 ingots here. We do. So it's normal steel, black steel. Oh yes, and we need to make a load of flux, and I think we're like all out, aren't we? We've got 4 pieces here. So dolomite, I think, is, wow, it's like, what's that, peaches and bananas. This guy's stopped. It's not full though, it's just empty. Okay, it's just done its whole batch. That guy's still got a ways to go. There must be quite a bit in the hopper back there. And 20, okay, alright, fine. Honestly, we just have too much food. It's not even worth picking the fruit from the trees anymore. Just leave it there to rot away. So it was like this. Put all of those in there. We'll put that in there. Oh, we can't, because there's not room for the flux. So it means a batch of 32 is our max here. So that's fine. So 32 steel. I think that's good to go. And what this is going to do is produce the high carbon stuff, which then needs to be blue hammered. And so that's something we kind of need to add to our signs up here. Intuitively, I would have thought the red hammer would be the one to finish off the high carbon red steel into its main red steel, but it isn't, it's the blue. So that is kind of interesting. Maybe we need a second sign. Maybe then it should be a sign for the red hammer and a sign for the blue one, with lists of things. There we go, just like that. So yeah, the red hammer only does the pig iron through to steel, and it goes via high carbon steel. Pig iron, high carbon steel, steel. Whereas then the blue hammer does the doubles and the sheets, but it also does the high carbon black, red and blue into the normal. So yeah, it's weird, because intuitively I just would have thought that the red hammer would do that high carbon conversion, seeing as it does that, and you just have the blue hammer doing the doubles and the sheets. But anyway, yeah, there's a kind of unfair bias towards the blue one there, but that's going to help us remember it, so that's all good. How's this guy doing now? Yeah, still got a way to go with this one. I think, can we pump the slag out of this here? I'm not sure. I've noticed something quite concerning. We're actually using more energy than we're producing right here. Maybe different recipes consume different amounts of power? What happens if we stop the input altogether here? Yes, these recipes must use 300 RF. So the black steel based recipes use 200 RF per tick per slot, but these ones use 300 per tick per slot, which means that we need another water wheel at least to be able to just manage one slot. Otherwise, look, we're operating an unsustainable operation here. Like, making the weak steel was still 200 a piece, wasn't it? It's only since we've gone to this last stage of it, actually. It's the conversion of the weak red and weak blue into high carbon is taking 300 a pop. 300 times 12 is going to set us back 3,600 RF per tick when we're going at full pelt, which is still within the 4,000 RF per tick limit of the connectors. But yeah, we need to build one more water wheel in this array, and by one more I mean one more set of 3. I mean, look at how much of this stuff we've got already, though. See, some might say it was enough as it is, but no, we want more. So this guy's probably going to stop now, isn't it? Or it's just running off of its reserves, which are going to deplete very, very quickly. And then we just need to sit back and wait for more power to generate. Yeah, so we probably need to build the extra water wheel right now. Oh, shame. I thought we'd done all our water wheel production for a while. Okay, so we have now hit rock bottom with our power in this capacitor bank here. The thing that's interesting is that even when we run out of power, you see that the lights are blinking there. It's still actually running. It's just slow. But it does run with less than the power required. So we're still making progress. We're still going to build more water wheels, but it's interesting, you know, that this works anyway. In fact, look, it's just filled back up with power there. Is that because something's full? Is the slag full? So it can't go? Do we need more flux? Is it 2 pieces of flux per recipe? No, it seems to only want 1, and yet it seemed, yeah, strange. Okay, maybe it was a visual glitch. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows what happened there? The point is that that's all finished. So now we can chuck the high carbon stuff in with the blue hammer over here. Yep. High carbon, high carbon, high carbon. And the blue steel's coming out the other side. We did it, you gears. So now, what do we need to carry on? 8 there. 8 there. 8 there. And arguably maybe we should just redesign it so that our system uses all 4, and that way when the arc furnace needs it, it takes it. I don't know. I mean, this works anyway. Slowly or whatever, it's working, and we aren't having to anvil things. So when we've got other building projects on the go, we just have this running in the background. It's just perfect. Isn't this got to be one of the best sights you've ever seen? Just stacks and stacks of blue steel just being automatically produced. Can't get over how cool this is. We've earned this, you guys. We've seriously earned it. So 32 of that, 32 of that, and 32 in there, and bang, it's going. Alright, so we got a few spares we can just chuck down here. Just 3 steel. Got a load of black steel here, and then there's the stack and a half upstairs as well, which we can bring down. The thing we can do now with all the levels we've got from the mob farm is have another crack at getting ourselves a decent enchant for the diamond hammer. Oh, the other thing as well that I brought back from the mob farm here is a lot of blocks of flesh. I just converted them all into blocks. I thought, why not? I think we did establish that the rotten flesh itself is better than the blocks. I don't think we can craft the flesh back from the blocks. Maybe we should double check that. No. You know what, we can basically process these 5 stacks in here at some point. Again, probably just auto clicker is fine here in this situation. Could just leave it auto clicker there. So I might do that between episodes as well. Let's grab our books and do a couple of harvests to the XP farm as well. If not, worst case scenario, we do have an Unbreaking 1 book, but I really want Unbreaking 3. But I guess with the amount of blue steel we have here, the argument could be, like, who cares? Like, whether it's got Unbreaking on it or not, just blast through the hammers. Let's see if this is sharpness 3. I swear we keep getting sharpness books. It's not, they're not the worst books to be getting. Probably only going to be enough for like 1 more level 30, maybe 2. Repair 2. protection 3. Okay, that's pretty decent if we're going to make some armor in a minute. Okay, this is very interesting. Apparently, repair is a special enchantment from TerraFirmaCraft, and it uses Viz from the wands to repair items. So let's try putting repair onto this diamond hammer and just see what happens with our wand here. The enchantment just might not be compatible with Ex Nihilo, but let's see. It's not compatible. That's a shame. Okay, we can actually top this up now so we don't have to come back to it later. With the extra 8 there, lovely. Be interesting to see what happens with that flux. If it has the same sort of glitch towards the end. Right, there's our anvil, guys. Unbelievable scenes. Alright, yeah, so looking at armor here, we might as well get cracking on the armor. Like, what we need is 5 single sheets, and then another 6 single sheets to make our 3 doubles. So we need 11 sheets, so we need 22 ingots. And that does ring a bell. That seriously rings a bell for the number of ingots required for a suit of armor. So let's chuck those in, and that should make our 11 doubles, and yeah, we're on our way. I mean, this is just like, I've never seen anything like this in all of my TerraFirma crafting days. This is gonna look so good. Oh, we should bring some of the black steel down just to really make a point, you know. Okay, it looks like it is gonna just fit into the space that we have. Yeah, with like 3 more ingots would max out that pile. And so presumably the red steel will have 14 more ingots because we won't need to make an anvil out of it, but we are going to make a suit of armor out of it. So I have a little bit more red piled there than the blue. Okay, it's finished. And look, these graphite electrodes are kind of on their last legs now. But look at all of that red steel as well. Alright, so just inspecting the difference between the red and the blue steel versions here. Blue steel chestplate is 2,500 on the piercing there. Oh, you can't see because of my face. You have to trust me. There you go, you can just about see that. Piercing's 2,500 on the blue steel, and then 2,000 for slashing and crushing, whereas the red specializes in slashing. I feel like we're going to start with some blue steel armor. I think we're going to wear the blue steel armor because it gives us more protection against piercing, which I think is skeletons, right? That's going to be like arrows and the javelins and things like that. Okay, boom. So now we want to put the 22 in to start making doubles. All the rest of this, let's take downstairs. This is going to look so cool. This is, yeah. Have you ever seen so much? In fact, that just might have to be the thumbnail, just like that. There it is, 3 doubles, 5 singles. We are ready to make some armor. Alright, last but not least, let's do this. Leggings. Wow, this one is fiddly, isn't it? Oh, there we go, straight away. I can even weld it, probably. Yes. Alright, come on, we're getting good at this. We need to be like over here somewhere. Yeah, alright, that was quick. I mean, as far as trousers go, they're pretty revealing, the blue ones, aren't they? They look more like short shorts. Okay, right, let's go. Chest plate. This is the easy one as well. I think, because... Oops, I probably didn't want to do that. So we go like this. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Weld. Lovely. Here we go. Home straight, y'all. Perfect. Alright. Amazing. So, let's take some of these guys off. Oh, it looks so cool. Oh, I mean, the red one looks particularly good on me because my skin has red arms anyway. So that does look pretty awesome. That does look very nice, but as discussed, we're going to go blue because I think blue is just better for ranged. I can't see my eyes. I much prefer how the red one looks. You can see your eyes with the arms. Very nice. But yeah, let's rock the blue in the short shorts. If we just have the leggings on. Oh, they do go down the side of the legs, to be fair. Okay. Anyway, that is awesome. It's so funny not being able to see through the bottom of it. But wow, guys, we did it. We did it. So thank you, one and all, for watching. This is very exciting, and yeah, between episodes, like I say, I'll just do a load more dust processing. So I'll be excited to show you what this vault is looking like next time. So yeah, thanks very much. Take care and peace.